from the Hussman School of Journalism and Media at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
Davis for National Player of the Year campaign.
After that 42-point performance, why not number 4?
Good morning and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Ashley Humphrey.
And I'm JJ Jones. Thanks for joining us. Coming off of a game none of us will soon forget, RJ Davis and the 9th-ranked UNC men's basketball team will be looking to continue their quest for an ACC regular season title as they host NC State tomorrow in the Smith Center. The Heels will be looking for the regular season sweep of the Wolfpack after their 67-54 victory back in January. Carolina is coming off a historic win against Miami that became a little too close for comfort down the stretch. As they did against Duke, UNC will need to be better defending the three-pointer tomorrow, as they allowed Miami to shoot almost 50% from beyond the arc on Monday. Playing more like they did against the Blue Devils, they'll need to be better from the free throw line as they shot a poor 12 for 21 against the Hurricanes. This will be Carolina's penultimate game in the Smith Center this season before hosting Notre Dame on Tuesday.
RJ Davis is coming off a historic night in the Dean Dome. Shooting 14 for 22 from the field and 7 for 11 from the arc, Davis racked up an outstanding 42 points by the end of the game, more than half of the team's total score. This betters Davis' previous scoring record of 36, which he also reached this season. Davis now holds the crown for the most points ever scored in a single game in the Smith Center, beating out fellow Tar Heel Tyler Hansbrough, who held the record at 40 since 2006. With a tremendous performance on both ends of the court, averaging 21.7 points a game, RJ Davis is sure to be a top contender for ACC Player of the Year.
After a narrow escape, we are now joined by our men's basketball analyst, Aman Patel, at the top of the key.
Stressful game there, Aman. What did you see?
Yeah, stressful does not begin to describe that game. And it's because we played a depleted Miami team, and we needed all of RJ's 42 points to get it done. I immediately thought to the game plan, how we were game planning so well. The problem is we're just not making those in-game adjustments we need to. So let's talk about the game plan, right? It's simple. JJ, you're going to be Armando Baycott. Ashley, you'll be Norchad Omier. And this is about the height difference that we see on the court. So the idea was, JJ, you're going to steal off Ashley. I'm going to throw a nice high entry pass, and it's going to lead to an easy bucket. You're going to see it happen right here on the screen, right? Baycott's going to come around. He's going to seal off Norchad here. Ball comes in nice and high. Easy finish at the rim. The problem is once you do this a couple times, teams are going to adjust. You're going to see it happen one more time. When, again, he goes to the seal, 3 Miami defenders around the ball, forcing the turnover. But JJ, just because they stop you once, should I stop passing you the rock?
No, absolutely not.
Exactly. I got to find new creative ways to get you the ball. That's the adjustment. We didn't make those adjustments, and because we kept trying to do the same thing, we were scared of passing the ball, and so we forced turnovers. And once we made turnovers, we stopped getting Mondo involved, and we survived Miami doing that. But if Mondo has 5 points against NC State, it's just not going to work.
We'll have to see what the game plan is when we take on our little brother tomorrow. Thanks, Aman.
Incredible player, known for not only her skills on the field, but for her leadership and commitment to building community. Reporter Zoe Sinclair tells us more about this special athlete.
Kayla Pecorina is the president of the women's rugby team. With exceptional leadership qualities, passion, and an animated personality, Pecorina pushes her teammates to be better, all without losing her smile.
She uplifts everything. So like not only on the outside for like lifting people's spirits, but like playing next to her, like you can see people grow into that spot, especially our new players, because they're playing against somebody that has that intensity, has that like love for the game.
As a player, Pecorina radiates joy on the field and is always happy to be playing. As a leader, she strives to build individual connections with each of her teammates and works hard to foster community and friendships with everyone involved. At every practice and game, she leads with compassion to make her team the best they can be.
I guess my leadership tactic is to know everyone like they're my friend. So from new players camp, when everybody first came out, I went around to every single person that showed up. We had about 50 to 70 people show up, and I personally spoke to and learned the name of every single person.
On the field, Pecorina is a dynamic and fierce competitor with a high rugby IQ, making her someone who is trusted to get the job done. While she may not be the biggest person on the pitch, her skills, power, and determination allow her to take up space and crash into whoever stands in her way. Kayla is a senior and she's graduating this spring, but there's no doubt that she left her heel print on the team. I'm Zoe Sinclair reporting.
We're excited to see all that Kayla and the team are able to do this season.
The UNC women's basketball team competed in their final ACC regular season road matchup last night against Boston College. UNC fell behind early 8-2, but India Navarre showed up off the bench, scoring 16 points, including this layup. With the Heels going into halftime down 35-29, Maria Gokding led the offense with 16 of her own points. Take a look at this shot. The Heels made a run in the fourth, at one point scoring 10 straight and bringing it to within 4 within less than a minute remaining. But that was as close as they could get as they fell to the Eagles 78-74. The Tar Heels desperately need a win going into rivalry weekend after this loss. Our women's basketball analyst Daniel Masterson takes us down the lane to talk about how the Heels can flip the script against the Devils.
Ashley, the last time the Heels took the court against the Blue Devils, I think the Cameron Crazies might have gotten to them a little bit. They absolutely crumbled in overtime and ended up losing what I thought was a really winnable game. Now, there's 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in overtime in this one, and you have the ball in your best player's hand. Go make a play. This is where this rivalry is made. So as this play develops, they're going to run a pick and roll with Anya Poole, and immediately right here, Deja likes this matchup. She's got Kennedy Brown on her. She's a flat-footed center. If she can get her into space, those are the matchups that she really likes to attack. So as she comes back to her right, stop it right here. There are 3 defenders on her. Donarski's from the corner. She's sunk in. And Anya Poole's man that switched on to her, she is double teaming Deja in the paint. What I want Deja to do there, plant that pivot foot, stop, see that you have an option for a layup and a three-pointer. She doesn't do either of those. She goes up with a weak layup attempt, and it's blocked. And I'm going to let this run in full speed because Duke gets out running in transition. She's going to kick it to the corner. That ball goes up. And Kennedy Brown, you'll see her. She ran the court. She got in position for an offensive rebound. And because no one marked her, as this ball clanks off the rim, she has an easy layup for a putback attempt, putting Duke up by 2. Now, the next possession down the court, UNC turned it over, so Duke has the ball again, and they're trying to get the ball into Reagan Richardson's hands. She's their best player. So they're going to start this action. She's going to give the ball to Ashlyn Jackson. And as this happens, they're running a little dribble handoff. And right here, Donarski and Navarre, they get confused. They miscommunicate. Donarski switches on to Jackson, whereas Navarre trails with her original defender, leaving no one to guard Reagan Richardson. She's going to take this easy pull-up jumper, but watch right here. India Navarre, she's not letting Kennedy Brown get an offensive rebound over her. Unfortunately, she goes low and she wraps up, and that might be the way to take down J.J. Jones, but they're playing basketball out there. This isn't football, so those are 2 more free throws for Duke. Kennedy Brown's able to knock him down, and they close out the game 68-60. When it's Duke week, you have to be on your A game. Those late game mistakes that we see, like Deja not seeing Donarski, or that miscommunication on defense, they cannot happen. It's the Duke game. It's the last regular season game of the year. You have to lock in and fix those late game mistakes. Ashley?
Daniel, obviously just playing Duke is big enough as it is, but what else is at stake for UNC on Sunday?
Yeah, the Tar Heels, they're currently a game behind Duke in the ACC standings, so a win might help them get a little better seeding for the ACC tournament and hopefully the NCAAs. But honestly, it's always just sweet to end your regular season with a win against your rival.
Thanks, Daniel. I'll see you at Carmichael on Sunday.
The Diamond Heels had a blowout game on Wednesday night against Longwood. Senior Alberto Osuna's swing was on fire in the bottom of the second inning, hitting a textbook homer into left field. Grad student Anthony Donofrio hit a double to push 2 runs, finishing off with a slide into second base. There was no cool down when Osuna hit another dinger over the center field wall to start a 4-run inning for the Heels at the bottom of the 7th. Now, pitching changeups by grad student Ryan Fisher sealed the deal. Hook, line, and sinker. The Heels dominated 12-3.
JJ, the last 2 games against ECU honestly were lost from the mound, but the team's been able to turn their pitching around in later games.
Absolutely. Freshman pitcher Jason DeCaro, he stepped up against VCU pitching 6 strong innings. And then against Longwood, some of the more older, more experienced pitchers like Matthew Mateus, Aiden Howe, and Ryan Fisher, they stepped up as well.
Yeah, and thankfully the Diamond Heels are consistently strong in the offensive end. Alberto Osuna had those 2 home runs, and then obviously Casey Cook and Vance Honeycutt are going to continue to generate those points.
Yeah, and Honeycutt's performance even also earned him ACC Player of the Week.
Exactly. I'm excited to see how they perform against Princeton. And now for softball, the UNC softball team hosted the Oakland Golden Grizzlies on Wednesday. The game was a pitching duel from the start. Carolina's Kenna Ray Dark and Oakland's Sydney Campbell battled it out on the mound for 7 innings. Dark threw an outstanding shutout with 6 strikeouts and allowed only 6 hits. Although the Heels were lacking in the batter's box, Lexi Godwin's bases-loaded infield single in the first inning resulted in an RBI. That was the only score of the game. The Heels win 1-0. We have a very special guest joining us in the studio today. This past weekend, the men's fencing team won the ACC championship for the first time since 1980. We're honored to have head coach Matt Jednak with us today to speak with our very own Kyle Lobenhofer.
Coach, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me and for having me today.
Yeah. It's been about a week since you won the ACC tournament. How are you feeling? Has the excitement come down at all?
Yeah, you say week, it feels like the next day, right? We're still going at it. We went hard practice this week. We gave a couple of days of rest, you know, the travel and just pushing through some injuries at this time of the year where it's been long. But I really feel like we're zoned in for our next competition already, so it's great.
Did you go into the championships thinking this would be possible at all? I mean, Notre Dame was in the way, and they're the back-to-back-to-back national defending champions. They haven't lost at the ACC championships in 6 years. Did you think that you could do this?
I mean, if we're going into a competition thinking that you're not going to win, there's not a lot of preparation or reason to go play, right? We were excited. We had a lot of thought as a staff. And then after our home meet, I started hearing some of the chatter from the men's team about, hey, this is possible. You know, making them vocalize it, making them own up to that was part of it. And then we had an individual portion the day before, so they got to see the field. They got to recognize in themselves what they needed to do for the next day. They were even challenged by their staff. You know, it may not be going the way you want today, or even if it is, what is that going to do for you tomorrow? And I think that they stepped up to the challenge on the second day.
Now, after you beat Notre Dame, you went into the Duke match. A win clinches. A loss forces a 3-way tiebreaker between you, Duke, and Notre Dame. What was the energy going into that match?
Yeah, we had before every meet, we had a conversation. We had a 3-tier, right? You have to win each round, and each round is that goal or that topic that we're looking for. We came off Notre Dame. Obviously, it's exciting. It's the first time that they've lost in championships as a team. So I feel the guys were ready to go, but they were trying to focus back on. I think the last thing I told them was, if you want to be done for the day, we have to take care of business right here. And it's Duke. It's not really hard to get up for it, right?
Yeah. Now, you had a banner honoring Coach Miller. Mm-hmm. Could you describe, what does it mean to have won in this year in particular?
I mean, Coach Miller is the reason I'm standing here right now talking to you. I was not a fencer. I was a walk-on to the program in the truest of senses. I played a lot of sports growing up, and he took a lot of athletes from different places and taught them how to fence and to compete at a high level. And I feel like I'm hopefully doing him justice by taking this program and these athletes to their next level as well.
Coach, congratulations. Your first ACC title as a head coach, hopefully first of many. Congratulations, and thanks so much again for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Back to you guys at the desk.
After the easy win against High Point last Sunday, the Carolina women's lacrosse team will take on number 5 Notre Dame in a highly anticipated matchup tomorrow. Last year, the Heels lost to the Irish in a tight match, but with the addition of Ashley Humphrey getting multiple goals and assists per game, along with a new and electric newcomer, Eva Ingrilli, getting her first hat trick last game, Carolina will be looking to get revenge. Also with Notre Dame coming off an upsetting loss to Syracuse, this will be the perfect time for the Heels to kick them while they're down and protect Dorrance Field in a high-intensity game. After an exciting overtime win and a commanding victory versus High Point, the Heels are up and the Irish are down. Let's go inside the crease with our women's lacrosse analyst, Caroline Routh, to see how the Heels can capitalize on their momentum against the number 5 team. Caroline?
JJ, Notre Dame just fell in a heartbreaker to Syracuse last weekend. They've got a chip on their shoulder. To beat this team, the Heels need to focus on one thing: the draw. Now, the Irish have one of the top draw control units in the country, and UNC has been looking good in their last few matchups. But slip-ups like this one against UVA, where they go up for the ball, and they're not going to be able to get it out here, but that's okay. UVA is going to drag the ball all the way down the field, and that freshman is just going to take the ball and score it. Now, you can't let that happen against number 5. We know Notre Dame knows how to do the draw control. Another thing the Heels need to do is, well, they need to exploit the draw and dump on offense to find the open man. Now, Syracuse had a lot of success doing this. They scored their first goal off a draw and dump. And UNC, we know they can do the exact same thing. That's how they scored their overtime victory. Alyssa Long was able to draw in the middle and dump the ball down to Eva Angrelli, the freshman, to be able to get the overtime dub in for the Heels. JJ?
Caroline, what should UNC be expecting defensively in this matchup?
Jackie Wola, Casey Choma, and Madison Ahern are the big names to watch for on Notre Dame. They usually work as a unit and dish out assists to each other. So UNC is going to need to be one step ahead of them and match them stick to stick to not let their quick passes get through.
This should be a very intense top 10 matchup. Thanks, Caroline.
The 15th ranked UNC men's lacrosse team will take on Princeton tonight for lacrosse under the lights at Dorrance Field. Coming off of their first loss of the season to Johns Hopkins on Saturday, UNC will need to lean on scoring machines Owen Duffy and Dom Petramala to get the offense rolling early, but a win will require an entire team effort. The Tar Heels will try to contain Tiger attackman Nate Kabiri, who has already scored 10 goals on the season in only 3 games. Face-off is at 8 p.m.
It's going to be a weekend full of rallies for the number 8 women's tennis team as they face Boston College and Syracuse back-to-back on Saturday and Sunday at home. To continue their 2-0 run of the outdoor season, the Tar Heels will look to dominate in their doubles matches like they have done for the past 2 matches, winning against Florida State 6-4 and U of Miami 6-2. In singles play, the Heels must do the same to ensure the weekend wins. The Heels are set to play BC at 12 p.m. and Syracuse at 11 a.m. at the Tuning Tennis Center. Now, UNC men's tennis team is in action today at 4 p.m. as they face off against number 37 Georgia Tech. The Tar Heels are looking for another strong performance from Patrick Schoen, the freshman from Switzerland, to continue his 4-match winning streak, while Will Peters, a graduate student, looks to hold on to his number 84 ranking and his place leading the team in singles victories.
UNC Gymnastics is traveling to the cornfields of Nebraska to compete in a quad meet on Sunday. Carolina will need to be on their A game at this action-packed competition. They'll look to the bar's queen herself, junior Lolly Dekanoidze, to continue anchoring the strong bar lineup. Junior Julia Noer has also consistently dominated the all-around competition and is another gymnast the Heels will need to lean on this weekend. The Gym Heels will battle it out against Nebraska, Illinois State, and Southeast Missouri State and hope to bring back some hardware to Chapel Hill. The UNC men's golf team traveled to Las Vegas to compete in the Southern Highlands Collegiate earlier this week. Austin Greaser led the way for the Tar Heels, shooting 3 under in the final round and tying for 29th, the top finish on the team. UNC captured 7th place overall with a score of 8 over 872. They compete again on March 9th.
On Monday, we gave you our 2 best plays of the week, and you guys voted on our Instagram stories. And the winner is Mr. Air Honeycutt himself. Here he is going to absolutely smash this 1-2 pitch deep into left field for the game-winning home run against ECU, earning the program's 3,000th victory. The Heels fell in that series, but battled to the very end against a very solid Pirates team. Let's hope Honeycutt has more monster home runs this weekend when the Diamonds Heels face off against Princeton.
A passion for cheer since she was in the 3rd grade. As a senior at Carolina this year, she still carries that same passion. Julia Thompson tells us about Gomez's experience, one that hasn't always been easy.
Alexa Gomez is the epitome of energy and enthusiasm. As a beloved cheerleader for the Tar Heels, her infectious smile and unwavering spirit uplift both teammates and fans alike. But Alexa had to put cheer on hold as she found out news that no one should ever have to hear.
And I started noticing this little lump in my throat, kind of just like the base of your throat, kind of near your lymph nodes. So I was like, oh, I'm probably just run down. I do a lot of things. I don't sleep that much. So I was like, it's probably fine. Probably just swollen lymph nodes or 2. Nothing, no big deal. So I ignored it.
But after a few conversations with her friends and her parents, Gomez decided to go to the doctor and see what was going on.
A week later, he calls me. He's like, hey, I just wanted to let you know it's confirmed. It's stage 2 papillary carcinoma. It's like, awesome. So that was really scary too. And I was like, okay, obviously not what you want to hear. I was 20 at the time. So I was like, it was just really scary. The whole thing was just really scary, but it's super, super treatable.
But amid the surgeries and the recovery process, Gomez relied on the support from her teammates and coaches.
I just didn't really expect the outpouring of love that was going to come from my team, and just everybody who knew me was the sweetest thing ever. And that was just, they were the best the whole time. And everybody on my team was so, so supportive.
With cancer now behind her, Gomez's story continues as she'll graduate in May with a degree in Peace, War, and Defense and has plans to attend law school next fall. I'm Julia Thompson, reporting.
We'll all have to look out for Alexa tomorrow at the game as she begins to finish out her senior season here at Carolina.
Fans hope she'll cheer the Heels to victory as we send the puppies packing again. That does it for this edition of Sports Extra.
We'll be back on Monday as we recap another exciting weekend of Carolina athletics.